I find it interesting that each branch library and the central library all have their own unique character.
My father was the library director for the city of Santa Barbara and the county of Santa Barbara. And so after school and after sports, I would come down to the library and hang out and wait for my father to be done with work and give me a ride home. I thought he read books. I thought that was his job, was to read books and figure out what kind of books went on the shelves. And then he would bring me books home and say, here, read this. And I actually got kind of lazy as a reader as a result. While he was alive, to his dying days, he was constantly giving me books.
From when I started to when I left, it was always family. Everybody really got along.
My father was a reader. My mother was a newspaper reader. And we came here a lot as a kid.
When I was a child, I came with my mother every other Saturday, I think.
I remember coming up on what is now the Anna Kappa side.
We'd come in through the main entrance, but we would walk right through the adult section.
They had a special entrance for the children there, and that's where we entered this library. It was the best place. It was a lot of little nooks and crannies, and we always felt like we were snaking our way through the library, that we were sneaking up on the adults.
My heart is in the library. It became the great equalizer, where people who had no money could still come to the library and they could still learn. People could come and get a Harvard education on their own.
And it's available to everyone. It is a place that is welcoming, but there's also books, magazines, newspapers, internet.
There was a fish tank. The fish tank seems to have been a symbol of the Santa Barbara Library. And sometimes we would just go and stare at the fish tank.
And the fish tank was really handy-dandy because children would escape out of the children's room and were on their way, and they would stop at the fish tank, and so their parents could come get them.
I sort of remember turning the corner where the corridor went around the corner, and there were public restrooms, and then you walked into the children's library. But then the first thing you came to were the cases upon which were the model ships. And one of them was this sort of spectacular Spanish galleon on great big blue, green, white waves. And that one, because I can distinctly remember being sort of the height of looking right at the ship. And that was like fascinating.
What?
In the 30s, there was a series of reflecting pools that stepped down from the entrance to the Faulkner Gallery to Anapamu. And they just fascinated me as a child for some reason or other. And then I also loved the reading court.
I would walk from Santa Barbara High to the library, and I'd go to the patio and eat a snack because you couldn't eat in the building then. And I'd sit on one of the benches that was around the patio, and there were really fragrant flowers. I don't know if it was honeysuckle or there was something that at that point in my memory grew around the patio.
It's a community coming together place. Back in those days, the library had a lot of dark wood, and it looked very stately, very much an old school library.
When I hear people that say, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with my child for the summer, I'm just like, go to the library. There's so many programs for kids during the summer and through the school year. They offer that, and I said, of course, and it's free. And they're just like, I don't have to pay for it? No, you don't have to pay for it. It's free. They're there for you.
And the library is the central source for information in a community, and that is so important to protect and preserve and enhance.
I've been in other libraries, and It's nothing like this. What we offer, the look of the inside of the building, the staff and the public that's walking around and enjoying it, and just sometimes just in total awe of the beauty of the building in itself.
The library is actually the center of the community, the nerve center, the place where people can come and just be.
So the library really has something from, 0 to 100. We're here for your children in their entire educational path. Come to our homework help. Come read with a dog if you're a reluctant reader. As a teenager, we want this to be a safe place for you to hang out, geek out, mess around. And then going on into your adult years, civic engagement happens at the library. And then as you go on in your years, senior citizens, libraries make people feel human. Libraries help people discover themselves and the world around them.
This is such a central part of the community. In many other places, it's kind of an adjunct. It's set aside. And in this city, it's just really incorporated into the main core of the city. And I appreciate that. I mean, it just feels good.